So what do we have in the shed?
Oh, we got a little red, white, and
days?
blue number 33 that ought to be reminiscent of what you and I ran years ago.
Wow. Have you taken this one out?
Yeah, I have, up at Lime Rock on a Tuesday kind of thing. And
well, that's this time of year again. It's great for me to come back to Connecticut and see you guys and see this wonderful countryside. But
oh, we're thrilled to have you back. You know, Lime Rock's been our home track forever and ever, and you started there before driver's school and won, you know, SCCA races and Trans Am races and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, it's always a kick for me to go to Lime Rock and especially watch you perform there.
you know what's funny is for me, I look at it's my home track, and therefore it ought to be advantageous. But so often, the kind of caliber drivers that I'm racing against, they've all probably raced there 20 times, you know, and it's such a sort of small, relatively simple track that there's really no advantage to be had anymore. What do you, I mean, you teach a lot of guys the track. What do you think? When you get to somebody professional that's been on the track multiple races, it's hard to really know something more than they know, I would say. Don't you think?
It is, and you know, such competition is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Between all the different teams, with the Corvette team and the BMW team and the Porsche team and a bunch of professional drivers, so it's hard to shine or outshine all of those guys that, again, have spent a lot of years here also.
Absolutely. But I think overall, for both you and I, the fans of Connecticut have always embraced us and been so supportive. And just you come back and I drive over the bridge, there's just a calming, sort of natural, almost feels like home for me. You know, I mean, of certainly any racetrack I've ever gone to, it feels like home. I mean, I quickly flash back to, you know, Mom, the little red blanket that I think's in the back of my car from last night was the same red blanket. Right. I think Bob put me on when I was about 6 months old. But growing up at that racetrack, and I remember the guys smuggling me across to get in take your victory lap with you. Right, smuggling me. I was illegal to get in the pits, but they brought me in there. Just so many good times. It's been fortunate to roll out of that racetrack at the end of a weekend and had so many, I think, good memories.
It's true. It's true. I had fun there for 17 years, and then with you and Tom Cruise and Paul Newman and all that. So we've had a lot of fun times on Tuesdays just practicing or at races there. So it was a kick to see you and Paul communicate and have fun together, kind of thing. So a lot of fun eras we've had at Lime Rock.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You know, it's always fun to come back to this room because you get busy with year after racing, and you forget sometimes all the little moments from at least I do. You get so busy, so all the little moments from so long ago. So you come up into this room, and it starts really from the beginning. So why don't you take us through this a little bit?
Well, a lot of history here, and a lot of history in the driver's suits over here, from some of your original ones and mine, and to a Paul Newman, a Tom Cruise, a Walter Payton, and some of your old Indy driver suits over here. So it's nostalgia almost to see. There's a Tom Cruise, a Paul Newman, one of your Delphi ones from IndyCar.
That's your suit that Bob
mine.
Sharp says on that.
That's what it says. You got it for me.
Were you driving in that?
Yeah. Well, I tried it on a couple times. Here's what a racing suit looked like back in the 60s and 70s. And, you know, Nomex, you wore the underwear underneath it, but they've come a long way compared to...
Doesn't feel very fireproof.
No, not very fireproof compared to what you guys wore at Indy or that kind of thing. So, anyway, but that's what it used to be like. Scott started racing in high school, and we went to Babson College, and Carol came up with the idea, gee, college is expensive. You know, it's not just a country club kind of thing. So she came up with the deal, if you're on the honor roll, you can race whenever you want to. If you're not on the honor roll, you only race when school gets out to school comes in. Well, life is priorities, and that was a good put you on the honor roll for 4 years.
It was. I think it was more she didn't want me to race at all. I was hoping I never raced. So she was thinking if she could delay it till after college, she might be clean on this. But you and I pushed pretty hard, and like that was the compromise, if I remember correctly, we came to. So hard for her to argue if I'm at school on the dean's list that I can't be driving.
It worked, and I don't think you want to be a basketball player or a golfer. You know, you tried golf a little bit, as I have too, but now racing, I think, was in your blood, and as you said, you've been coming to races and coming on a Tuesday with me when we tested at Lime Rock, and so you've sort of grown up in and around not only the driving, but overseeing a team and motivating the team members. And
that's what I was going to lead into. I think the biggest thing is no doubt have you going to the go-kart, following up, racing your car when I first started my year racing, all that tutelage. But I think the biggest thing I'm starting to see the benefits of is just that day after day of being, or afternoon after afternoon or whatever, of spending in your race shop, and then talking to you those nights about personality issues, budgets, sponsorship, whatever it is. You do that long enough, you get such an education that for me transitioning to ownership has been, I think, a lot easier than it is for maybe other people, and certainly than a lot of people expected.
If I could say, okay, tomorrow you're driving, what would you want? What would you get into? What would you want to drive?
Well,
IndyCar?
no, I don't think so.
What would you want to run?
Well, simulated road cars I think are great. You know, I think the GT category is a thrilling category. Obviously, they're very, very modified. And the biggest change, I think, is the cars are so exotic and so reliable today. Back when I ran, you know, the premium cars were as strong on the last lap, but a lot of them weren't. And today, the brakes are an example of big, heavy cars still stop incredibly well. They go well and they do everything well. Sure. And I think the competition amongst the cars, the drivers, the professionalism just ekes out everywhere.
That's true. I mean, the teams just, you have one solid program after another, where I think when I was watching you guys, there was one or two guys at the top, but everyone else quickly fell off. And every component, like you're saying, even the tires, look at Michelin. I mean, those tires just go forever. Like you said, the brakes, the engines, I mean, knock on wood, there's not a lot of failures these days. So, but I'd love to see you get behind one of our cars, drive a Ferrari. Especially with a paddle shift.
That's what we need. You need a third car.